Hey, this is Lewis.
And Connie. Connie Love.
Connie Love.
Connie Love.
And Louie Dewey. Louie Love.
Hey, we don't even know what to name this video.
So we're going to go with our best guess.
We're just going to talk about a multiple amount of stuff
Yeah.
that can happen in our targeting as well as your targeting.
As well as your targeting can be in placement and what we're all going through.
Yeah, a lot of it is, we used to look at our home. Wow, so many years gone by and you look, when was the last time you were genuinely happy? And you look at your house. So you come in, you put the best lock you got on your front door. You lock them windows down. Some people even put bars on them. Don't they look good?
You got open doors.
Mm-hmm. Regardless of what you do to secure your home, you cannot secure it from them. These people are contractors, construction workers. They know how to cut little squares in your house. I've heard it. And they can slide the wood and look right down. These people have such good surveillance, they can count the hair on your eyebrows.
Yeah, they can count the hairs. They can see the pin on the ground from satellites. They can do all kinds of things with what's happening today. So, I've spoken to some technicians that worked on satellites in their job history past. And they'll tell you that some of their modulating systems can see way off and far down on the ground, and that's basically what we're looking at. So.
And there's millions and millions of satellites in there, putting more up there. But, kind of make you wonder, is it the satellites or is it a form of conspiracy theory? Or it is a form of distraction to get you distracted from what's really going on right here on the planet Earth?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what's going on planet Earth. I'll tell you what's going on is, okay, so we have a lot of satellites up in space, and they're capable of doing all these crazy things to us, and there's no governance over satellites in space, and there's no space laws against what's happening in space. So countries can observe you in your home with these satellites that are in space.
Google Home can look right dead in a complex and tell you what everything looks like. Wow.
Yeah, and that's just another countries. For example, like Brazil or China, anybody that has a satellite in space, nobody has any treaty laws over these things, which is very dangerous because that's probably what's going on with us, is that other countries that have satellites in space don't have any laws or no enforcement on stopping people from doing what they're doing. So I would oblige a situation where the United Court or the United International Court should probably provoke a sort of a commissary idea to jointly to provide a demonstration of presenting laws that are space-bound laws, because we've been going to space for such a long time and launching satellites up in space for such a long time.
Space-based technology.
And not just in speculation, but providing information that people should have, or countries should have, laws against satellites. Because we have laws, we have countries, we have borders, we have all these things, and in these countries and these laws and these borders are to protect ourselves from other populations and things, because it destroys your way of life.
But the intelligent agencies that are in these other countries, they're making too much money. Why would they want to protect? They want to live in their mansions. Excuse me. They want to live in their mansions. They want their chefs to be able to cook. They want their children to be able to go to private schools. They want to make sure that their bunker is secure enough to escape when needing to be available to them.
Yeah, so my guess on that would probably be using some sort of sophisticated artificial intelligence to tell them exactly when doomsday is supposed to provide. And so if people were to witness a doomsday event prehistorically before the events ever, prehistorically before the events ever took place, it's like running a simulation on a battle schematic. If you were to place certain troops in a different area, and tanks in one spot, tanks in another spot, and you have a nuclear bomb or weapon in this area, you run simulation to figure out exactly how that battle is going to take effect.
Are you going to put that bomb? Where is it going to be directed to?
Right. Where are you going to place that bomb if it comes first, or the troops going to go first, or are we going to bomb the adversary or the person that's conducting an attack against us or a population of people? So figuring out exactly how to work that out and the navigation is basically what we need to do with the satellites because,
I think they've already done it.
Well, if you ever seen the movie Battlefield Earth with John Travolta, these guys were taken over by an alien race, and they figured out how to fly airplanes later on in the movie. And I believe there was a part in the movie when they went to outer space or something like that. But anyway, they were taken over by an alien race, and then they started flying Harrier aircrafts. Those are Marine aircrafts in the military.
That were built in the military, not alien base built.
Right. Yeah, the Harriers were built like that. So they weren't alien at all. So, but they had. Did you ever see that movie? Battlefield Earth?
I did not see. That's an interesting movie. I think I might like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it came out back in the early '90s, I think.
Hey, the early '90s. That's a thought. The early 90s had a lot of information concerning what we're going through. The early 80s had a lot of information. Star Trek, the Next Generation, the Holodeck, and then we got Predators. Remember that movie? Predators 1, Predators 2, Predators 3, where they just dropped right out the sky.
Mm-hmm. Came to kill us.
Yeah. So in Alien, let's not forget the Alien.
Alien. Oh
yeah. With
Alien
Sigourney
Saga.
Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yup.
Yeah.
And they came busting out the stomach. And you want to know another thing? There are a lot, and it might be conspiracy theory, but I'm hearing a lot of unexplainable pregnancies. I wonder if us women are breeders.
Well, I was thinking about something. I was thinking about a philosophy of that, and it seemed like if you were to create a whole different breed of humanity or a different race, then you would come up with something as far as DNA-wise to start injecting humanity and having different babies without them knowing about it, maybe.
Yes. And some of the babies I'm hearing, not my own opinion, but just maybe it's conspiracy theory, but I'm going to address it. It is that these women say that their period stops, and the next thing you know, they're pregnant, and before it's time to have the baby disappears.
Yeah.
Really though?
There's a conspiracy theory on that I was thinking of because, when you flush things down the drain, where does it go?
Exactly.
So, say for example that you have a fetus inside your stomach, and then you have a miscarriage or somewhat of a miscarriage, and that fetus, after so long, drops up out of your uterus, down your vagina, and into the drain of the toilet.
But what if it doesn't drop into the toilet? What if you're asleep one night and you notice that something is really weird going on? Or you wake up without your underwear on, or you wake up with your pants being ripped at the private area, or your stomach, your belly button has been altered.
Yeah.
So there's different ways that can be ejected out, and it is called. Do you know the name of that word?
Embryo.
where they can put the baby into maybe a excuse me, maybe an incubator or some form of a machine that causes them to grow. What was the name of that other movie? Oh my gosh. There's so many movies that they have brought out concerning what we're going to go through.
Yeah, pretty much like movies and stuff. They would have that in there. And
Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary Baby. Put a song.
Rosemary's Baby. Now that's crazy.
Who is Rosemary? What is that?
Rosemary. What happened?
Oh no.
What's the music?
Oh, this is Kevin MacLeod. It's a song. I thought I put it on the recording.
Oh, okay. He decided to put some music into this. Well, all right. I didn't know what kind of was. I was like, what is that? Rosemary's Baby was when they had taken her and did something to her when she was pregnant to alter her pregnancy into what they wanted her pregnancy and her baby to come out as. Anyway, moving forward.
Well, that sounds kind of like the Montauk projects, because they made a lot of different animals and creations with DNA, I believe, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Ooh, and what about the cattle?
Oh, what's that little monster called that's floating around in the dark?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I know that I've heard more conspiracy theory about the cattle being found dead, and their blood has been drained, and their brain has been removed, and some of their organs also have been removed. Things to make you go,
Sounds kind of like remote neural monitoring.
Or alien invasions.
Alien invasions.
Dun, dun, dun,
Now,
dun.
the CIA did release a couple of copies of a video of a UFO landing inside of the sea, but is that all they got? Did they have more than that?
I bet they do.
They probably do.
And they don't want us to know. No. We are not intelligent to know the truth. We're not smart enough to handle the truth.
They rather kill us than tell us the truth.
Put us out. That way we can shut up our mouth. We talk too much.
Yeah, no freedom of speech.
Delete.
Record. We'll start it over.
So, let's talk about the hologram. Let's go all the way back to the hologram deck. Remember that? Star Trek? What was it? Star Trek?
Yeah. Oh, the hologram deck.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, they can project hologram decks into your real life platform. Mm-hmm. You can see things, witness things, you can experience things, hear things, feel things, even. But they can implant people in front of you.
Things.
And smell things. They can implant people in front of you without them actually being there. That's the digital world that we live in today. And I know, as being a remote neural person myself, I've experienced some of that. And don't call me crazy, because I'm not.
Science fiction.
Science fiction to reality, folks.
Wow, it's like we're living in a zone.
Yeah, we're not only black and white, but we're also a clear picture.
Yes. And I remember the one when Hermit said it was green. I wonder if Hermit was really green.
They turn red, I guarantee you. Because all the blood and all the murder and all the basket cases that they put out there, they've over the years they've pretty much destroyed our humanity and truly indoctrinated our child into believing and breeding into the opposite sex of what they were born. And I think that's a little intense and a little
Yeah,
insane.
it's a little crazy, but then again, look what they've done to the men and women. I mean, can we distinguish reality from fantasy now? I mean, you can go to bed in your room and you're in your bed, but are you really in your bed? You're in your house, but are you really in your house? You look out the window, everything looks normal, but does it
Everything
look
looks
normal?
alright. Dreams can become a reality, and reality can become a dream if you let it.
Yeah, if you let it. So you gotta watch how you think. You know, the hardest thing that I thought, how do you change the way you think? Because you don't want to comply to the way they think.
Right, you don't want to be a part of the system.
You want to be thinking differently. But when you think differently concerning everything that's going on, and it can be really, really, really horrific.
Right.
So you try to think differently. Like somebody approaches you when you're out and you know they're only doing that because they want to assault you. So you think, oh, they might say, see you later. You be like, see you later, alligator. And move on. Because they're only doing it to upset you.
Yeah, that's what I call crocodile sparsicity. You know, you're stuck out in the field and you're lost in a nightmare, but in reality, your true self is right here. So if you can attain your true being, and your true self, you'll be right here. While everything else is happening around you, you're right here.
But it's so weird when you're out there and there's so many things happening, and you look at another person, and they're like, have a weird expression on their face, or they're acting kind of abnormal, and you're wondering, wow, I wonder if they see what's really going on in the world. That's one of the biggest things is all. Should we wake up to what's going on?
Wake up, humanity.
Or should we stay asleep so that we don't be affected
What's more
by it?
important to you, staying asleep or waking up?
I'm woke.
Because I tell you what, 10 years ago when I first started waking up to facts, I was looking at the billboards up in the sky, the big 200-foot billboards and things, and I was realizing all the content that they were putting on there and the broadcasting that they were doing with them. And it just woke me up that I was realizing these facts, and that even though I was already an experiment back in I was born in '84, and so '84 was a big year for experiments, and that's all you know. And so from then on out, it was like I experienced things through my childhood,
Yes.
but the more I came along, I became targeted, like a targeted. In 2015, and I started seeing things and hearing things, and I started witnessing things, and
They weren't there.
yeah, total demonicy inside
And
my area. Holograms, experiencing telephone calls,
Yes.
all kinds of things. My dogs were being mind controlled.
Ain't that crazy? And cats.
Cats too.
I don't know about fish. I think they do their own thing.
I think fish can do their own thing, but there is a discrepancy in that because they have satellites in space that can control animals on the Earth, such as bugs, bees, flies.
Ooh, mentioning bugs. Bugs is a big part of a lot of people's targetings. Bugs that they infest their homes with. Mm-hmm.
That's part of the digital reality.
Yes, and you got to remind yourself, is it Memorex? There's a lot going on.
Memorex?
I don't know.
It's like SpaceX.
It might be.
We're gonna be memorized. It's Memorex. That's where we're at. Because Memorex would be like something like, you propagating your memory here, and you're being thrust out into something that's more dark.
Very
into your
dark
world.
and scary. But don't be scared. Don't be scared of what is coming. Don't be scared of what is here. Be vigilant.
Vigilante.
Be wise.
Yeah.
And keep your eyes on the prize.
The target. Keep your eyes on the target.
It's just amazing. Yes.
There's a lot of people out there trying to kill us. And they try to manipulate us in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
But if you steady your course and know what you're doing and know your true life is...
And move forward.
Move forward with your life. You have to.
Yeah. And you know what? I heard somebody say on another video I watched recently, matter of fact, multitask. And you know what? I've been multitasking for years. And I think it might be helping to cut down some of the brain manipulation. I noticed that a lot of it is done when you're not doing this or you're not thinking that. But some things in some movies and music and different things you don't listen to because it has a very controlling factor. I don't know if you've ever listened to music that they did backwards and it has a subliminal message in it. Stop doing that.
Yeah, they have subliminal messaging inside records. Records would the vinyl records would be the number one thing that would do that because people would play back records and they would hear demonic sounds coming from the record that which was produced by the song. Because you say certain words in a song, you play it backwards, it'll give you a phrase of something.
Yes.
Especially in a sequence and order, so it was planned out. Like Stairway to Heaven. As a matter of fact, let me try to play Stairway to Heaven right quick. No?
We're blocking that subliminal message. Some of that stuff we don't need to hear. We don't. We need to block certain things that we know. Our mind is already orchestrated. So we need to.
So is our peace in our life.
Yeah. How can your home be your home again? It's never going to be our home again. But this is happening to so many million people. And they don't realize that they come home, they're like, oh, I'm home. But they're not really home. Because this is happening to so many people. Why? It is in the air.
It's in the bubble.
We are in a bubble. And when we're in a bubble, there is so many frequency and technology. And
it's here to kill us.
It is there to kill us. It is there to kill us. And they are steady sending subliminal messages into our environment.
Yeah, if you ever seen the movie World of the Worlds, where they're spraying all that stuff all over the earth to try to kill everybody, make it more habitable for them.
Ooh, good movie.
That's what happens when a different population moves in on them, because they try to make it more habitable for them, regardless of whoever lived there before, which is what makes them alien.
Oh, yes. And remember about all the cities that they are finding under the ground? Where are the people that lived in those? They're gone because their race was wiped out. Kind of makes you wonder, are they trying to wipe out our race?
Well, from my belief, I believe that people live up under mountains. And I don't think these people ever erase because nobody really knows who they are.
Or where they're at.
Well, they're inside the mountains. There's a race of people. They really don't care if people know, because they know that the schematics of humanity isn't really going to go dig for them. But they live inside the mountains. There's people that live inside the mountains, and there's a frequency of mountains that where they talk to you. The mountains will speak to you if you challenge them to do so.
I don't want to live in that mountain. But this is the weirdness of our world.
It gets weird.
And we don't want to be we want to be in the world, we just don't want to be a part of the world. We don't want to be a part of what they're doing, but we want to be a part of what we know is right to do. So, woohoo! Moving forward.
Moving forward is a challenge. So, one of the other things that we want to talk about was interfaces. human interfaces with machines.
Yeah, pretty much to control the way you behave and think.
Yeah. Which interfaces can lead you to a point of discretion where it can murder your personality and basically turn you into a robotic machine. That's part of the targeting that we call targeting, when in reality it's about human manipulation inside the brain and the cochlea of the ears, the cochlea of the ears.
Yes. And you hear about all of these mass shootings now, and we're going to hear about a lot more of those because maybe they had the interfacing and they were just under a form of control. And when they wanted them to do something, they said the right keyword or the right trigger, and they did it and blacked out, not knowing exactly what they did. And maybe some of them did know what they did.
They probably did know what they did, but I would probably suggest that, going back on what they said, like during 2018, 2019?
Yes.
The Valentine's Day shooter in Florida he was saying that he heard demonic voices telling him to kill people, and so he actually went out and did that. He went out and killed people, and that was part of the article. I remember that in 2018, 2019.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes. And then you got to also take into consideration, was he saying that to get out of trouble, blaming it on whoever's doing this targeting situation against millions of Americans, just to try to get out of what maybe the trouble he was going to get in, or was he really going through it?
Well, we'll never know.
No, we won't.
But if you watch some of the videos on, that's good that you bring that up, because if you watch some of the videos of Holmes, his name was Holmes. I think it was Christopher Holmes or Child Holmes or something.
Holmes, I think it is.
It was the theater shooter in 2012. If you watch some of his videos, he's in the daze in his videos, and he's being mind controlled and B2K'd.
Also, some of the singers, if you really look at some of the singers in Hollywood, their eyes kind of let you know that they're not in their right mind. That they self have handlers. I think a lot of people have handlers, they don't know it. You can go from covert targeting to overt targeting, and covert targeting can last for decades. You can be followed and monitored for decades and never even know it. And then bam, one day you go into overt.
And then covert.
And you will know that you are being followed and targeted.
Yeah. You will start witnessing things where people are doing certain things around you, and people are starting to recognize you for some odd reason we really don't know. Whether we live in a real world or we live in a digital world, it seems like things that are real are not reality.
Yeah.
If you go to a certain place and you have just people recognizing you for nothing or for something,
people you've never seen,
you never even met, and then you don't know who they are. And not to say that they were planted there by somebody, but by the reality of the system is the unrealistic values of it in the digital world, if that's what we can call it, because everything that you partially see isn't exactly of who we are.
Right. Some of the stuff you see and you think it's real may not be real. You ever saw something and you had to do a double check, a double take?
It's like,
and it's like, couldn't be. That couldn't be. Nah, I didn't see that.
Right. It's like we live in a system with people controlling it around us, and then they start orchestrating things around you. And
like a dimension.
Like a dimension, or like a holographic demographic, or something, reality.
Yeah. Like somebody can open the door, or you can go through a door into another realm. Something that you don't understand. It's not reality.
Right. So if you look at like Christ and this is something that I do like to share when I talk to people, is that, if you look at Christ and his sacrifice on the cross, if you take the image of the cross and you fold it up, you get a box. Okay, and you split the box long ways, you get a cross, right? So if you fold it back up, you get a box. You split it long ways, you get a cross. Okay, so there's a lot of speculation that we all live inside of a box, a digital world box, what they call the cube, or the black cube.
Yeah. And when Jesus came and he died on the cross, he knew then, 2,500 years ago, that we were going to need him. Because he was going to help us. So he knew we needed some form of protection. We needed the Holy Spirit. He had to die to give us the Holy Spirit. Because we needed somebody to protect us. We needed something to protect us, if we believe.
You have to study some of the mythology, because some of the mythology will guide you back to Christianity or Jesus, because humanity was in a box before Christ came. Before he came to save us, there was us and there was God,
and they sacrificed burnt offerings.
Yeah, which was all right, because you could sacrifice animals to God over your sins. That was okay. That was declared in the Bible, the Torah. That's part of what they did. And God had spoken in some parts of the Torah to spread the blood of the lamb over your house to protect you from...
To put the cross of the lamb over your door, the door where they were killing all the boys because Jesus was born. See, that's kind of what they're doing now. But do we have that burnt offering like we did then?
Well, Jesus was supposed to be the lamb, the finalization of all lambs.
The blood of the lamb. Uh-huh.
So afterwards, there was supposed to be no more burnt offerings, even though certain type of, like Judaism still practices burnt religions, such as burning cattle and things like that, which is what they do in symbolism of Christ, and which they believe is prophetic.
Because if Jesus died, already shedded his blood, why do we need somebody else to shed blood?
Right, and there's proof that people have died for that.
Yeah.
So and sacrifice will always take place, even in the name of God, because that's what we do. And Christ said that if you are a believer in me, you'll be hated. So those
I don't mind being hated.
I don't mind.
But we're going to go ahead and try to end this.
So we're going to shut down the video, and hopefully we'll pick back up again next week.
And just stay strong and don't show fear. God does not give us the spirit of fear.
Yeah. If you like some of the things that we talked about, which is pretty obvious what we said, so comment in the section below. Let us know how you feel.
And if there's something that we should do more research on, or there's something also comment and let us know. We'll address it next week.
All right. Until next time, peace out.
Connie and Lew.
Louie. Peace out.